In this video, we're going to look and see how you can track your caregiver's progress during the day with the appointments that they're working. We're going to do this through the check-in section. So we'll click on the check-in button on the left menu bar. This takes us to the check-in records page. So we have tabs at the top for clients, caregivers, and daily. Let's start working through with clients and caregivers. So this shows us all of our active clients to start with. We can filter this list through the search button at the top. Same with caregivers. You can see your active caregivers and you can filter it with the search options at the top. We'll go back to clients though. We'll click on Pam Beasley. So this shows all of Pam Beasley's appointments. Likewise, if you clicked on a different client, it's their appointments. If you clicked on a caregiver, it would be all of that individual caregiver's appointments that they worked. So here you see the start date and time, end date and time, what the scheduled duration was. So 9 to 5 is 8 hours. You get the checked-in duration. So this is going to be the amount of time from when the caregiver checked in for the appointment to when they checked out. And then the billable duration. So for billable hours in HZCare, you set that under the branch settings in the admin section, whether you want to bill on scheduled hours or whether you want to bill on checked-in hours. We'll talk more about that as we go through here. So with any of these appointments, if there's an issue that you want to look into, you can click on it and you get to appointment records, and this has more details about it. We'll come back here in just a second though. So we're going to press done for now to go back. So here we are again on the Pam Beasley list. We're going to press done. We're back to all of our clients. Again, here's the caregivers. If you click on any of the caregivers, it takes you to a very similar list that just shows all of the caregivers' appointments that they worked. Done. But let me take a little more time to look at the daily tab. So the daily shows you each day all of the appointments that your branch has for that day. So this is really helpful if you want to just take a look and see who is checked in to make sure that people are where they're supposed to be, and you don't need to put out any fires of figuring out where someone is, why they're late, anything like that. So if we look at this, we have the start time and the end time, and then in parentheses next to it, it has what time they checked in and what time they checked out at. It has the client name, the caregiver name, the scheduled duration, the checked-in duration, and then the billable duration. So this branch is set on scheduled billing. So you can see that the scheduled times line up with the billable times. And also a really good thing with this, besides just seeing if people have checked in or checked out, you can see if the checked-in hours don't really jive well with the scheduled duration. If someone worked, an hour short of what the scheduled hours were, even if you're on scheduled hours, you're probably going to want to change that. So that's what brings us into clicking in and getting to the appointment record. So this was the same page we'd looked at just a second ago. So this is appointment records. There's two tabs. There's overview of the appointment, and then there's the checklist. So the checklist tab, we can talk about it first. This is what the this is the checklist that the caregiver filled out for the appointment. It would have any notes if the caregiver left notes, but this has just, you can see that what they marked as complete, and you can see a timestamp for when they did it. So back to the overview, you get the name of the client, the caregiver, the scheduled start time and end time, the scheduled duration, the category for the caregiver category for the appointment, the type of appointment, and then you get the check-in and check-out times. So if for some reason there is an issue with either of these times, the office does have the ability to override this. It would seem kind of silly to override it for 4 minutes, but let's say they actually got there at 8 and just forgot to do it for 4 minutes and asked if we would fix it. So here we go. We're changing it to 8 a.m. So look, so we can see confirmed by office. It lets you know who in the office was the person that confirmed it. And then we can press save to save that change. So there you go. So the check-in duration is now 4 hours, 2 minutes. It's okay. So for your billable hours, for what's going to go into your invoices and when you post, it can either be based on, this will default either based on scheduled or based on check-in hours for what you have your branch setting as. We're unbranched on scheduled, as I said before, but you can easily change it to billing based on check-in. Or if for some reason you don't want to do either, you can do custom, and then you can set the hours to whatever you want them to be. We'll just leave it here with based on scheduled. This gives you the opportunity this checklist has already been approved by an office worker, but this gives you the opportunity for your office workers to write any kind of notes about the approval process and to save approvals to show that your office is reviewing what your caregivers are doing out in the field. If for some reason there was an issue with caregiver input, you can delete it. And then one other place, while we're talking about check-ins, to see the check-in information is when you're on the schedule. With any appointment that's worked, if the caregiver has checked in, you can just see a check icon on any of the appointments. We'll click on one of those, and then if we want to see what the caregiver did, you can press caregiver responses, and you can see that it took us back to the check-in section, right to the appointments record page that we were looking at before to make any kind of changes and to see the checklist filled out and all of that. I hope this helps give you a better idea of what all is going on in the check-in section, how to track your caregiver activity from what they're filling out through the HC Caregiver app. And I hope this helps you give a better idea of how you can work with those hours and check your scheduled hours versus your checked in hours, and make sure that your billable hours are exactly what you want them to be. Hope this helps. Have a great day. Thanks.